Now, do you
All
all
right.
make your own honey? Do you harvest your own
Yes.
honey?
Yeah. Drop
Oh,
you
you're
off
gonna
some
have to
if you.
bring me some. I love honey, Doug.
I'll do it.
I'm a big tea drinker, so love honey. I guess that's our sign to shut up.
Good afternoon and welcome to Muskegon Rotary. My name is Tim Arter and I have the pleasure of serving as your president this year. Today's program will be a presentation of the El Salvador and Honduras trips. A special note, we have members and the club advisor of the Mona Shores Middle School Interact Club as our guests today. They will be introduced. They will be introduced and will give brief remarks after our program. And as a fundraiser, they will be asking for free will offerings in exchange for wristbands after today's program, or after today's meeting. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a reflection from Susan Crane. We will recite the four-way test at the end of the meeting. So at this time, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Let us pray silently together, each one of us, according to our own individual beliefs. Let us offer thanks for the food, blessings for one another. Let us be a source of hope for those in need and contentment for those who are lonely. Let us give gratitude for our opportunity to serve Rotary. Let the feelings of love, kindness, and well-directed yet gentle spirit always be reflected in our actions. Amen.
So at this time, you return to your seats, and I'll get back with you in a little while.
Makes the business. So
Okay,
that's.
gotcha. That is pretty cool though. So does she wear like the hazmat looking
Oh yes.
outfit when she's around the bees and
Yeah.
that
Now
is
Kim
so
is the
cool.
president of the Muskegon area beekeepers. She's on the board of the Michigan Beekeepers Association.
Oh, is she
She's
really?
yeah. She's all spring and summer. She's busy doing programs for kids. So
I was just gonna say, did they have her do like the MSU extension or 4-H programs teaching kids about bees?
she has done some of those. Yeah, and she has a following that certainly keeps her busy.
That is really cool.
Yeah, but look, we'll drop some off at your office.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it. I
All
can't
right.
wait.
All right. Talk to you later.
At this time, thank you. At this time, would members and that have guests please come forward for introductions? Members with guests, please come forward for introductions. Come ahead.
Ready? Okay, here we go. Come on, Jake. Good afternoon, everybody. Tom Palmer here with Shoreline Insurance. Yeah, you better listen to that bell. Tom Palmer, Shoreline. I'm here with Jake Grinwis. He's one of our new commercial agents. I'm just showing him how wonderful Rotary is, so please welcome him.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. I'm Brad Hastings, and I'm honored to have my dear friend Matt Erickson here. Matt works in government affairs with Comcast, and if you're a small business owner, he'd love to talk to you about their Comcast Rise grant program.
Thank you. Yeah. Hey everyone, Kat Hyder here with Catchmark Technologies, and I have the pleasure of bringing Chance Valdez to Rotary of Muskegon today. Chance is a graduate from Whitehall. Thank you. Too soon on the clapping, but I was looking for the Viking. Thank you for everyone that participated in that. And he is born and raised pretty much with the Irish Fest, so give it up for Chance.
Hi, Susan. Good morning, afternoon, it is Rotary. Meredith Smiley here, and I have my guest, one of our clinicians with our Refugee Services Program, Adriana Molina Schmucker.
Okay, good afternoon. I have the privilege today of having my guest, Will Watkins, who is also my son, with me. He's an entrepreneur in the building industry, so.
Hi, everybody. Jessica Kaufman with Forefront Credit Union, and I have Isabel and McKenna here. They are with Mona Shores Flats Apartments, and they are my guests today. They're new to the area, so just trying to meet new people and get to know some local business owners, and they are currently now leasing, and they do have a model unit open to tour if you'd like to. So thank you for having them.
Okay. Oh, hello, everyone. Linda Juarez here in the right spot now. I am introducing two people. Everyone one knows Barry Johnson from Grand Haven. Not everyone, but most everyone. And Callie, not a Rotarian, but heard there was a party in Honduras, so joined us with the Grand Haven contingent. And then many of you maybe know Gail Ringelbird, who is the third person from the Grand Haven Rotarian group that joined us in Muskegon. You're going to hear about our trip a little bit later, but welcome them, please.
Hi, Sarah Rinsema-Siebinga, and I have the privilege of introducing my son, Elias Rinsema, today, who is joining us to be on the panel for the discussion about the Honduras trip, because he joined us, and it was actually one of 3 kids, and is the only kid who was able to make it today to speak, so no pressure at all.
Good afternoon, Rotary. Marty Seitzma here, and since we've been around students all year, you get to learn something today, because the word for the day is penultimate. Penultimate. Yeah. Means next to last. So this is the second to the last group we have for the year, and it is West Michigan Christian. They knew that word. To introduce 2 of the seniors is Christina Martin. She is the academic advisor at the school.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting us. I brought 2 of our seniors who are actually done as of last Friday. So for them to actually probably get out of bed a little, like, let's see, yeah, they're probably, yes. These two seniors also served on National Honor Society with me this year as leaders. You are our president and are one of our secretaries. And they just are the epitome of leadership and servanthood in Christ. And so I'm going to turn it over to our first one, Will, and just let him share. And then we have Hallie, who will finish.
Hi guys, my name is Will Seaver. I'm a senior at Western Michigan Christian, like Ms. Martin just said, and this year I have had the pleasure of walking alongside her in National Honor Society, running a couple fundraisers. We have decorated bags for a kids' food basket, just trying to encourage silent leadership and to get students at Western Michigan Christian involved with their local community. And in the fall, I will be going to Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona to pursue nursing. And I would like to thank Ms. Martin, my wonderful staff at WMC for getting me through it, and my parents. So I'm going to pass the mic off to Hallie now.
Hi, I'm Hallie Lindale. We just finished our senior year at Western Michigan Christian, and I have had the opportunity to learn from my coaches and teachers just service and how to live faithfully. I have been so blessed at my time here at Western Michigan Christian, just to be around a faithful and servitude group of people. I have done National Honor Society and have played soccer for 4 years, where just the environment is so nice at Western Michigan Christian, and next year I'm pursuing nursing at Cornerstone University.
I'm Michelle Burley, and I want to just introduce the panel that is going to talk about our trip to El Salvador. We have Muskegon students, Jamina Chervenak, and Cora McGinn, and Levi Jackson, and we have Mona Shores student, Caden Vandenbosch.
No, oh, they're coming up. Yeah. They can just. At this time, I'll call forward Sarah Rinsema Sibiga to make the introduction or provide the opening for the remarks today.
Hello, everyone. So Sarah Rinsema Sibiga from Muskegon Area District Library. Here to introduce the Rotary groups that went to Honduras and El Salvador this past spring. We have quite a group here, and I know you're excited to hear directly from them. Wanted to give you just a little bit of an arc of what this program presentation is going to be. Oh, thank you for rolling the slide already. So we've got lots of information that we're going to pack in a little bit of time. Start out with an overview of the Honduras trip that I'm going to narrate, then the El Salvador trip, which Michelle is going to narrate. We have the slideshow that's in the back. It's not going to really align with talking points, but you'll get the idea. And then we're going to end with facilitating a conversation with the students and the Rotarians who attended and just kind of reflecting on their experience. So Honduras. We went in February. Jamie Hecker, Linda Juarez, and her grandson Landon, Tara Foreman and her son Emerson, an Interact member, Addie Whitmer, who is taking her AP exams today. Marcia Javi Wright and me and my son Elias traveled to Tegucigalpa, the capital of Honduras, and worked at a school in the heart of the city, Jose Angel Ulloa Elementary School. The school serves 20 teachers and just over 350 kids, and many of them are experiencing extreme poverty and just the harsh realities of poverty, like a lot connected to migration, so a lot of separated families, a lot of violence, a lot of school absence, etc. The school's origin story is super interesting. It really is just a testament to the strength of community-led organizing, especially some very strong women who were just all about the education of their kids. So first classes for the school were held years back in neighborhood living rooms. Then eventually they built some concrete classrooms, but they had to be demolished because the school was on a fault, a geological fault line. So then they rebuilt out of wood, and since that time, there have been 3 cinder block rooms that have been constructed, and one of them houses the library that you'll see pictures of. But just to back up a little bit and provide some context about Honduras. So 1 in 2 Hondurans live in extreme poverty. 1 in 2 Hondurans live in extreme poverty. Most kids in Honduras don't have access to books in their homes, in their communities, in their schools. A lot of the resources for education go directly to teacher salaries. And in terms of resources, the books are these government workbooks, and they don't have pictures, they don't have stories. There's certainly no books for leisure that are in the schools. So you can buy children's books. They run about $20, and that, as you probably know, is more than a week's worth of wages for many Hondurans. So it really makes books kind of an inaccessible resource. Public libraries are not a thing in Honduras either. There are some libraries that are connected to very expensive bilingual schools, but those are not accessible to the public. So if you just think back about like what reading fosters, right? It gives you a sense for like how to connect to somebody else's point of view. It gives you a connection to like understanding your own emotions. It gives you problem-solving skills, creativity, imagination, all of these things that we kind of take for granted. And some of those skills I think are really developed in Honduran students because of that lack of access to books. So Chispa, this organization that we partnered with, there are flyers on your table about Chispa, is an organization that's kind of Honduran-led and stepping in the gap of that need and really creating an opportunity to engage in building a culture of reading by installing libraries in under-resourced schools in Honduras. So Jose Angel, the school that we worked with, was actually the 90th school that Chispa has worked with over the past 7 years. The library of 750 books that we cataloged were the first ever books this school and these students have had access to. And they're just loving it so far. The thing that I think set this project apart was that so much was done before we got there. I think I mentioned this last year too, but the schools have to send in an application expressing their interest and then also pledging their commitment to do teacher training, to have identified the space, to allocate space and allocate resources. And a lot of that is done like a year's worth of time beforehand. There's also a very formal agreement that is signed, that was back in the fall, and the school is required to set up a parent committee that then works with the administration and sets up like rules for how the library is going to work. How is it going to be governed? How will it interact with regular classrooms and kind of the classroom setting for the day? Where is the library going to be location-wise? So that year of prep that Chispa facilitated with the local community really set us up to really work alongside of their energy for that week that we were there. This was not an outside-in project. Our Rotary presence definitely helped them to the finish line. So, we transformed the library with murals and built some furniture and got to catalog books and just kind of do the cultural exchange with students and staff. And I know for sure that our presence helped to underscore the importance for them of why reading in the library was so important. But it was not our race. It was their race. It was their celebration. And that was really just what set it apart for I think all of us is the blessing of being able to work every step of the project right alongside of parents and teachers and students, which hopefully you're seeing in these pictures. One last note before I hand it off is that there were so many different partners who were part of this project. Chispa, we've mentioned, is a local organization. Again, flyers on your table about the 100th library that they're going to build. If you have interest in donating to that, let me know. Their goal is $5,000 to build their 100th library. the Rotaract Club in Honduras. There were some extremely young visionary leaders, right guys, who helped us every day build the library that were part of the Rotaract Club in Honduras. Grand Haven and Muskegon Rotary, including Muskegon High School Interact member Addie Whitmer. We already introduced 2 of the Grand Haven Rotarians. Also want to acknowledge Muskegon's World Service Committee and WEHOP, and they really helped to identify some funding for both to help subsidize some of the student costs and also some of the library costs. And of course, Darlene Collet, where are you? She is so religious about collecting school uniforms, and so we were able to pass those along to schools too. And of course, most importantly, the teachers and the students and everybody who was there was a huge partner. Are we done? We're done. Thank you.
Hi again, I'm Michelle Burley, and I, similar to the Honduras trip, the El Salvador trip was really a collaboration with the Club Noroeste of San Salvador, and Rotaract. People were helping us as well on the houses, but mainly we had the families working alongside us. So you can see what you just saw was up what they normally have, which is a metal building. If they don't have bamboo and mud, they have a metal building with dirt floors. And then they had a lot of it done before we got there, and then we dropped the placas, which includes lifting them, dropping them, and mortared. And then a few days after we got back, they had them done. So you can see the Muskegon students working here. We also had a donation day that was super successful. We went to a very poor neighborhood. They have no running water. They have no electricity. There were 34 families that got the 46, I think, suitcases full of donations, and there were books, there were clothes. So thank you to everyone that donated for that. And then you're gonna see some of the cultural experiences as well, including last year, the kids, there's something that goes on at the hotel, and last year it was a wedding. So the kids were hanging back, we were all kind of watching the wedding, and at the end, the bride invited them all to dance. So this year, the students dressed up thinking, okay, maybe we'll get an invite, because there was a fiesta for a quinceañera, which is a 15-year-old birthday. So the birthday girl came out to them and took pictures with them by the pool, and then eventually they made it to the dance floor, and you're gonna see a little bit of that at the end. So here is the work site when we arrived, and I'm just gonna kind of let you see some of this. This is what they had done before. On top of that, I don't know if I have pictures of it, but the club actually had they had for us, the Club Noroeste, they had tents and porta potties, which the people that came last year, we had to go find some place to go. So that was super nice. All right, so is it just stuck? You're kidding. Oh, okay, well. So what you're missing on this, I don't know. Yeah, will it keep going? You better move right along, because I can't help you, I'm sorry. Okay, all right. Well, let's go ahead and do the panel. So we have, let's start with, I think, Cora. What was your most memorable cultural experience?
I have like 2. I think it was the 3rd day that we were there. We just finished a work day, so we didn't have to go back to the work day, and so we went to, I think it was called Devil's Gate or Devil's Door or something like that. Devil's Door. And it was like this most beautiful mountain range I've ever seen. It was so breathtaking. We were there for probably like 2 hours just exploring everything. And then we went to the markets afterwards, and that was really cool. I don't really speak like any Spanish, but I learned a little bit more, and I was able to communicate and bargain, which was pretty cool. I saved like $70, which was really good because they were trying to make us pay a lot. But And then after that, we went to like this resort day at this beach, and it was my first time at any of the beaches there. And they all have black sand in El Salvador because there's so much volcanic activity. So it was very cool to see that, and it was very different. And then the other day it was probably like our 8th day there, so it was our second to last day. And we just finished half a work day, and we were going to go down to see this waterfall at the bottom of the mountain. And so I wasn't feeling good already because it was our 8th day out in the sun, and so we weren't doing that good yet. And so they're like, let's go on this hike down this mountain. And so we're going, and I don't feel great, and everyone else is out of shape. And if you've ever been on a hike with El Salvador people, you will never feel more out of shape in your life when you go down and you see these people are just chugging along, and you're like almost rolling down the hill at some point because of how bad you're feeling. And we get down there, and it's a beautiful waterfall. Some of the locals are like drinking out of the waterfall, and we're like, I don't think we can do that. And then we make our way back up again. And so it really shows like the hard work and determination that a lot of people have down there, because it was a hard hike at the end of that week, but they were ready for it. So
Awesome. All right, how about, let's have Cadence talk. What about the experience stayed with you the most?
I think, okay, so I speak little to no Spanish, like none, and I'm sure most of the people on this trip with me also spoke little to no Spanish. But I feel like I and like most of the people I'm with, I'm sure, have made a lot of like really strong connections with these like people from El Salvador, even though they don't speak English, we don't speak Spanish. So I think like one of the main things I took from it that's gonna stick with me a lot, and also from Youth Exchange, like your ability to like verbally, how do I word it? Sorry. Your ability to like verbally communicate with these people doesn't like affect like the bonds you're able to make. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Let me reword it.
No,
okay.
that was good.
You're
That
like,
was good.
I'm so sorry. I'm so horrible at wording this, but like your ability to like make these like really like deep connections in these bonds isn't really limited by your ability to like verbally communicate or like from the background you come from or like what you look like or anything like that. Like I think it really depends on like your openness and like your willingness and like I don't know. So I guess just like the main thing I took from it is like, yeah, that. Okay. I think that's what I got.
How about Levi? What about the experience stayed with you the most?
So another with the hike, we went to this volcano. I don't know. I honestly have no clue what it was called, but it was like, huh?
it was a volcano.
Yeah, it was like a 4-hour hike. It was terrible.
This was on donation day, so some of us went on the hike.
Yeah,
and
some people went
to
to
the
donations, and then like the other half went to the volcano. It was like a 4-hour hike. It was so hot. We had no shade, nothing. We were just on rocks, slipping. But and on the way down, it started raining, pouring. We were soaked. It was great. Somebody broke their phone, but honestly, that was one of my favorite parts of the entire trip.
And I have to say, Levi, oh, go ahead.
Just like being able to climb, what was it, like 4,000 feet in a couple hours, it was great. What about the clouds?
You were in the clouds. You got rained on.
We were in the clouds. We couldn't see anything. We couldn't see like 5 feet in front of us. It was kind of scary. But I would do it every year that I go back.
Awesome. All right, and let's see, Jamina, what about you? The experience stayed most with you?
I'd have to say, like, doing donation day, it was, like, a big impact on a lot of the families there. Like Michelle said, it was, like, 36 families that we gave them to. We made a lot of connections by just giving them the clothes, especially with, like, us kids. We would, like, walk through the thing with them, and, like, we'd, like, interact with, like, the babies and, like, interact with them. There's a few pictures that we actually have of us with the kids and stuff as well there. I'd also have to say just building the houses and making the impact on the lives there in El Salvador, it helped a lot of us actually realize what we have and what they don't have. Especially like the houses that we have, because there's just tens in the beginning. But it was a really nice trip, and I would definitely go again if I had the chance.
How are we doing on time? 2 minutes? Okay. So, yeah, and, well, I have my own, so you guys.
Oh, okay.
So, Yeah, the impact that it makes on those families, I just can't stress enough, because they really have very little, but they're so thankful for the houses, and they really worked hard alongside us, to the point, like, at one point there was a woman who was lifting a placa by herself with a baby in tow, and like, they're just like amazing, and our kids were amazing too. Like, they were really working hard. So here's another question. How have you been changed by the trip? Anybody that wants to take it?
I'll say something about it. So you said, what was it again?
Yeah, well, how have you been changed by the trip?
I've been changed, like I said, it was an experience that you don't really get to experience every day. So like, definitely being able to go on the trip and help with the trip, and like help build the houses, make the connection with the kids. It was probably one of like the most things that a lot of us kids from here took home with us, is being able to help them.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks so much, you guys. We're gonna hand it over to. I think we'll start with Elias. What was the most memorable cultural experience for you on the trip to Honduras?
So, one of the most memorable things was probably getting to meet all the kids there, because there was a bunch of these kids that were around, I think, 6th grade, that were like really excited to like see all of the foreigners, I guess, because it was like something exciting, something new, and it's an opportunity that they had never got before, or gotten before. So, so like me and on the first day, me and Landon, one of the other kids that came with us, and then this other kid, I can't remember, I think his name was Kaizen. He lived in Honduras, but he spoke English, and he was helping around build the library. And we came there like not knowing what to expect, really. It had been my second time, but I didn't really know any of the kids or anything. And so there's like specifically like a group of 3 kids that kind of stood out, but they were kind of like the leaders, kind of like trying to make all their friends like seem like presentable, kind of. And like after a couple of like minutes of playing, we played soccer so much with them. All those little kids, there was so much soccer. There was a little bit of basketball, but there was so much soccer with kids like this tall to kids like this tall, and we played it from the first day to the very last day that we were staying with them. And so it's probably one of the most memorable things.
Tell them why you switched to basketball.
Oh yeah, we switched to basketball on the first day because we only had 3 kids on our team versus like an army of small kids, and it's safe to say that we got whooped. Yeah, so we needed a lot more. We needed some more help. So yeah.
All right, so does anybody else want to talk about their most memorable cultural experience?
Yeah, so for me, probably for a lot of us, watching the kids at the door of the library with such excitement, seeing us put together this very colorful, all new books that they didn't have books in their houses, they didn't have a library in their school. This was like eye-opening to them, and they were just so excited. They lived in neighborhoods that were controlled by gangs, so every window had bars. The school was surrounded by 10-foot cement walls. There was a gate at the door where the bus came in, it had to be shut afterwards. So they live in a very different life. We don't realize how safe we feel, or our kids feel, just living every day. So that made a huge impression. And then while we were there, we had some people who were from USAID, who had just found out days before they had 5 days and they were gone, and their programs were all gone. There were like 90 USAID employees in Tegucigalpa, I can't pronounce it. Tegucigalpa. many of them were Hondurans, and their projects were related to economic development to keep, so they had jobs to look forward to. And that was all gone. And the people that helped us on the project that had been USAID workers, they had no future in economic or whatever, foreign development. So that was really sad to see how our policies affected that country, because several of them mentioned how, oh, it's just going to be such a huge loss.
And those are the things that help to stop migration. Like if they have, if they have opportunities at home, then they won't make the dangerous trip to migrate. Yeah. So here's another question. What about how have you been changed by the trip? Does anyone want to take that one? Elias is saying.
Like, I've lived all my life in Muskegon, and I'm only 14 years old, so I don't really know much about, like, different perspectives and viewpoints and how other people view, like, the United States or how they view their own, like, countries. But, like, when, like, all the kids there, they were all, like, super, super interested in, like, all the things that they didn't have, like, in Honduras. They were super duper interested in all of the things that, like, we have in the U.S. that, like, for us it's just like, oh, we have this, and, like, oh, I guess. But, like, sometimes there it's like a privilege. It's like something that they don't get, and, like, they get on occasion. Like, it's like we think of it almost some things as like bread. Well, they think of it almost as if it's like cake, like a birthday cake at a party or something, that it only comes like once a year and then it's gone. And so, like, sometimes the regulars for us aren't the same there, and it's kind of hard to think about that, because you'd think normally sometimes here we think of it as like, oh, it's just like, it's a must-have, like sometimes it's a car, or it's like, or it's a washing machine, or even a stove. And sometimes there's like, oh, like, I'm so glad that I got to get a car ride once, like this week, in all of these months to get to my school, so I don't have to take that long walk up or down a mountain through a dangerous neighborhood to get to school. And so, and it also shows how devoted they are to, like, learning and, like, what they do there, so.
Go ahead.
I think Elias just says it all. I want to, what was life-changing for me, or not life-changing, but maybe reaffirming, is that Elias and Emerson, Tara's son, my grandson Landon, kind of hung together, and then the group leader, thank goodness, Jorge was in charge of the boys. But the way immediately they interacted with everyone, and that allowed me to have hope in our children and our future, because it didn't matter where they were. They didn't know anyone, right? They didn't have the soccer ball / basketball / whatever, I think was an old tether ball from the 1960s. I mean, it was that bad. Didn't matter. They joined each other. The parents spoke, and people, I was lucky to speak Spanish. We interacted with people, side by side with people. But the joy, the hope, the laughter, the fun, I mean, we're surrounded, like you said, we're in the middle of a high poverty area. They walk down a mountain to get their water every day. They walk down the mountain to wash their clothes in a community pila and then carry it back up the mountain. So they're tired, right? To go to school is a lot of work. But the joy, I mean, I've never laughed so much. They were hysterical, and they thought, actually, we were pretty funny too, right?
Does anybody, we're about out of time, right? Yeah, we're out of time. So thank you so much
Thank you.
to everyone.
Well done. At this time, I'm going to call forward Jenna Arter, the middle school science teacher and client club advisor, along with the students, if you'd come forward.
electronic back over here. Okay. All right. Hi there. I'm Jenna Arter. First, we just want to thank you guys so much for having us here. These kids have been talking about this experience for weeks now. They've been very much looking forward to it, so thank you for having us. And then we have a few of us that are going to speak and just share about what we've been up to this year. So I have Finley Wallace and Lucy Holman, and we've got Clara Buboltz and Ellery Stiegel.
Hello, Rotarians. My name is Finley Wallace, as Ms. Arter said, and I serve as the Mona Shores Middle School Interact President. Our club has 14 active members and 1 staff supervisor, Ms. Arter. And we are 6th and 7th graders who are dedicated to what we do. Now, before we talk about our projects, I'm going to take a second to introduce our advisors. So I am Finley Wallace. This is Lucy. She is our secretary. Alexis is down there. She's our vice president. And Owen is in the back, Owen Miller, and he is our treasurer.
Hi, my name is Lucy Holman, and as Finley said, I'm the secretary of the Mona Shores Middle School Interact Club. So I'll be talking to you about our global project. And what we decided to do for our global project is fundraise money for the Cure Cancer Society. The reason we chose this organization to donate money to is because we believe that cancer is a very serious illness and harms a lot of people negatively. So being able to donate money to finding a cure for cancer is a great honor, and we are very grateful that we have this opportunity.
Hi, my name is Clara Buboltz, and one of the organizations that we decided to give funds to is the Hope Project. The Hope Project is definitely one of the best things for our community because it helps so many people. Young girls can register for the Hope Project if they have been sexually abused or assaulted, and the Hope Project can send them money for, clothing, food, a job maybe, even an apartment. It's just so incredible that we could get to work with them, and we're really honored. So.
Hi, my name is Ellery Stiegel. What's your yeah, whatever. And I'm going to be talking about our funds. So for our funds, our total amount of our funds this year is $650. And wow, and our fundraisers are, we had a cookie sale, and for this cookie sale, we made $250 from just selling cookies to kids at lunch. Yeah. And guess what our other one was? Food related. We sold candy grams. They were for Christmas time, and they were candy canes, and we made $90 from just selling kids candy. And the rest of our funds were from miscellaneous things like cans. I don't know. We were like selling, the thing cans. Yeah, ended there.
Well, thank you very much. If we could get them arranged for, Susan, if you want to arrange them for a picture. I did want to mention that a number of the students, if not all of them, participated in the Early Act program at Lincoln Park. And one of the great things about Mona Shores schools that they have significantly adopted our Rotary youth programs. They will have a continuum of students who with experiences in Rotary, starting at the the early ages of 5th graders in the Early Act programs, move on to the middle school, and then on to the high school, and conceivably become Rotaractors at either Baker or MCC. an important point is we also had an early act group that was started at Campbell Schools, and Mona Shores has 4 elementary schools, and I think the vision is to try and get all 4 elementary schools to have early act programs. So let's give a round of applause. At this time, we'll do the birthday slide for our guests today. We celebrate the birthdays each week, and this week we have Arne Bozard, Kendra Robinson, Pete DeBoer, and Peter Wills on the 21st. And a tradition, what we do is we sing happy birthday to them, and we have an expectation that they'll give us $10 for a program that we have. It's called Caring Connection, in which we give flowers or send cards to Rotarians in our club that have a significant event, oftentimes deaths or illnesses and things of that sort. So we encourage them, and I encourage you now, for those of you that have birthdays, consider giving the $10 contribution. And it doesn't necessarily have to be this week. You can do it for any other birthday time we have. So we can, there's a QR code in the rim. We have QR codes and envelopes up here if you wish to give. So at this time, let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. This afternoon we have our Rotarians in action, and for our guests, each week we have a 2-minute video of Rotarians talking about some connection that either committee work or how they're connected to some of the activities that are going on. And just by coincidence, we're going to see Susan Crane for a second time. She's going to be talking about her experiences and benefits of visiting other Rotarian clubs.
My name is Susan Crane, and currently I am in Florida. I say when you've seen one Rotary Club, you've seen one Rotary Club, even though there are thousands of Rotary Clubs. Each club does something different, and you can learn from other clubs what they do, how they operate, what their core values are, and I always hope to learn something from them. I've attended clubs in California and Florida, and outside of the country, Puerto Vallarta and Italy and Africa. I love the international flavor. I've been to 5 international conventions, and it's just breathtaking and goosebump feeling that you see people in their beautiful outfits from their country, representing their country. And I just love that about Rotary and how it embraces everyone all over the world. I was privileged to go to Rotary in Italy, and we had sent a young man, Tristan Stewart, over there. So when I was there, I was able to pick him up and go out the afternoon and then go to a Rotary Club there and experience Rotary in Italy. I also was privileged to be in Puerto Vallarta, and we heard that there was a young gal that was going to have to drop out of college because she couldn't afford it, and she was in her 3rd year of architectural programming. And they said for $250, that would keep her in college for a year. So Orville and I supported her, and I was able to go back the following year and have lunch with her and supported her 1 more year. And she graduated as a student of architecture design. That was fabulous.
At this time, we have announcements. If Tim Lipham will come forward, and while he's coming forward, there will be a rewind meeting tonight. The rewind meeting will be in the vault area of the Core Plaza, starting at 5:15. Just a quick quick reminder for those who have not heard is the Rewind has moved to the Core Plaza from Unruly. So if you show up at Unruly, quickly move on to the vault.
Good afternoon. We can do better. Good afternoon. There we go. Hey, Warriors, I got the shirt on today. West Michigan Christian, coaching the middle school baseball team. We got a game. Our last game is today. I'm here representing the social committee, which is all about you having the opportunity to network and get to know each other a little better outside the meeting session. So, two things I want to report. First of all, pull out your phones and mark your calendars. Our next event is Wednesday, next week, I think, May 21, from 5:30 to 7. We're going to be at the Hackley Administration Building. Now, this building has been pretty much gutted, but because of that, it's revealed a lot of secrets that we want to be able to share with you. I don't want to give any of it away, but I can tell you Frank Peterson and his renovation team will be there to tell us the history of the building. I think it was built in the 1890s. They'll tell us about what they found as they started to renovate, and they will tell us about what's going to look like when it's all said and done. A 45-unit high-end luxury hotel. So, here's some caveats, though. We're going to provide snacks, adult beverages, water, and soft drinks. We're going to have remarks by Frank and his team. But there is no elevator, so folks should be able to navigate stairs if you want to come to get the complete tour. There is no bathroom because the pipes broke and the water's been turned off, but we will send you across the street to the library if you really need a restroom. The building has no heat, so dress for the weather. It's not too bad inside. And it's going to be a little bit dusty in there. So as long as you know all those kinds of things, it's going to be really cool. However, there is one caveat. If you discover the Confederate gold, Rotary gets half. All right? Deal? All right. May 21st, 5:30 to 7. One more. Our next event after that is going to be June 10th, Tuesday. It's the Rotary Muskegon Clipper Carload Party. Now, this is the Muskegon Clipper Summer Collegiate Baseball team, not the Muskegon Clipper boat. So, for you new members, this is one of our largest social events. We get over 100 folks. It's for families and everything like that. It'll be at the Muskegon Clippers Summer Collegiate Baseball game at historic Marsh Field. It's going to be June 10th. First pitch is 6:35. You're going to hear a lot more about that as we move on. As far as the Hackley Administration Building, we'd like you to sign up on Sign Up Genius so we know how much food to get. You should have got an email on May 12th. You'll probably get one next week as well. But go back, look at that. Please sign up if you're going to attend. Thanks.
Speaking of baseball, how about them Tigers? 2 walk-off wins in a row, so that's, yeah, best record in either league. Okay, one other matter to bring up is a members' website survey. Yesterday, members received a Club Runner email from Jason Piasecki with a survey attached. The purpose of the survey is to provide member input to a club head ad hoc committee, which is working on the club website. Members should require only a couple of minutes to complete, so we encourage your participation in the survey. Your comments and input will be greatly appreciated. So at this time, we will now move on to the raffle. To our guests today, we have a raffle every week, and 50% of the proceeds go to primarily the Rotary International Polio Eradication Program, which you may have heard about before. And so we will be doing this, and Karam Calkins has the magic bucket in the back with tickets. First draw is for how much? $650. Oh, we got a student winner. Yeah. Seven, 3, 3. I don't know if I've ever seen that happen where the person handling the raffle is a winner. There must be some kind of disqualification, Karam. Okay, next week our program will be a presentation on Silent Observer. Silent Observer. At this time, we invite the Mona Shores Middle School Interact Club and advisor Jenna Arter to rise with us to recite the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you very much. Great crowd today. And again, thank you for our visitors. We are adjourned.